Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found 2 people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost. Drew Wilder, NBC Washington.
All right. Well, we got that underway. See, this is what I want to do. So my thoughts on this situation is like the lady said, you cannot shoot somebody if your life, pretty much in most states, you can't shoot someone unless your life is almost in imminent danger of the threat that you see. You know what I'm saying? Like uncompromisable. Like based on this situation, it seems like the prank of the TikTok prank that's going around is they kicking in those, right? And soon I'm gonna play you a couple videos so you can understand that this wasn't a typical ring the doorbell, ding dong ditch and dip out, right? I just wanna make that clear because a lot of people might think, well, this guy shot an individual because they rung his doorbell and he just shot through the door, right? So I wanna actually play other clips of this happening all this year. Of kids walking up on doors, trying to kick them in or kick them one time, they dip off. But some people could identify that as a home invasion and somebody's trying to kick in their front door, because I can understand that. Because some of these videos do see that these kids, they actually do kick the door in, but they run off. Instead of breaking, they break entry, and then they run off instead of entering the house. But that could be considered, what, home invasion? I don't know. In this guy's aspect, he actually shot these kids, and not only that, one of them died. So we have a problem now, man. So before, I got a little message at the end for the brother that just got arrested, but right now I'm just gonna see if I can play this clip. And this is from a TikTok. Now this is from earlier this year, in like January. Same concept, kids kicking in doors. You know what I'm saying? The guy basically running down the street trying to find him. It's a trend on TikTok. So for the kids to lie to the police, so you have to understand right there, what she's reported is that the kids said that they was just ringing doorbells and they were running off at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? You got to understand, kids lie a lot to protect themselves because they don't want to be held liable for the things they've done, because there's already a discrepancy in what they're saying. So they're saying that they're just ringing doors like ding dong ditch for real and they dipping off, but that's not what's actually happening. Due to the fact that the other TikTok trends has been happening the rest of the year, it says differently. So here I'm gonna see if I can play this video. This is from a TikTok, and basically this is stating, this was posted about 2 or 3 months ago of what's going on right now with the teens. So let me see what I can do here. Just wanna play this.
After deputies say they kicked and pounded on a person's door and simply ran away.
As Fox 59's Jenny Drasler explains, it's all part of what the Johnson County prosecutor says is a dangerous TikTok challenge.
I spoke to numerous people who live here in the Kensington Grove neighborhood. All of them told me they're angry that this even happened in the first place, and these teens need to think twice before kicking on someone's door.
I heard just a loud thud. It wasn't like kicking and banging. It was like they tried to, they kicked in the door. It was one solid, just loud thud.
Chuck Hiles says on February 27th, around 6 o'clock at night, he saw and heard 5 teens kicking and banging on his neighbor's door in the Kensington Grove neighborhood in Greenwood. He gave us this surveillance video, which he says showed the teens walking in the neighborhood moments before it happened.
Let me pause this. The kids, they just don't care. 6 o'clock, the sun is still up and they kicking doors in broad daylight, pretty much, right? So you gotta understand what these kids are doing, because I think people think that kids are innocent and they're not. Kids do rebellious things, and when they're with another group of rebellious individuals, they start to just do a bunch of rebellious stuff. That's why kids are, honestly, to me, I think kids are the #1 crime committers. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones with the guns. They're the ones we don't least suspect that they're slinging the drugs. You know what I'm saying? They're still in the cars. But they're kids in the eyes of the law, so and to the eyes of the public. So when they do things like this, we don't really too much question it, and we should. We continue.
Saw my neighbor take off after him, so we kind of cut through the houses. I followed them, and he chased them, I don't know, 3-4 blocks away, across Stones Crossing, down to Molinex. Lost him in the woods, called the cops.
Right.
They came and kind of took it from there.
Johnson County Sheriff's officials say the suspects are between 13 and 14 years old. Prosecutor Lance Hamner says what the teens were doing is all part of a viral TikTok challenge called the Door Kick Challenge, a new version of Ding Dong Ditch, except instead of ringing the doorbell, the participants bang and kick on the door and then run away.
And they ain't kicking like no kid. They not just, They do the ghetto kick when you need somebody to open the door right now. Like you the police, you turn around and donkey kick the door. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power with it. If you donkey kick the door backwards, boy, that door gonna pop open almost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, for those that don't know, when you donkey kick the door backwards, like when a horse kick their foot up back, that kick powerful as hell. So it's way more efficient than kicking forward. So look at this. It's been going on. So this is what I'm trying to, the reason why I'm showing you this video, I want to put in the aspect that this is actually what the kids are doing. The kids are, this is how they're like doing what they're doing.
Kids think about this. They know that this is knucklehead behavior, right? Because common sense tells you this is going to terrify somebody. And when you terrify somebody at their door, there can be something happen back to you.
That right there. See, he said it himself. The guy said it himself. And basically that's the situation right now. And I hate that this is what's going on, because at the aspect, we have kids going around doing dumb, let's just say dumb kid behavior. We can't have this going on, because at the end of the day, now look, back to the guy. I don't expect him to shoot nobody, but then again, you're coming at somebody's front door. You don't know if their family's behind this door. They got no protection. They don't even want to have you even attempt to get in the door, because that means you've already breached their security. At that point, they might feel vulnerable. So I can see if somebody's banging on your door, you have a firearm behind the door. But based on what the law is stating, is that, man, if you don't see your life at the moment in imminent danger, and yes, it could feel like your life is in imminent danger at the moment, because somebody's trying to breach your security. That's like somebody's trying to pry your door open and you're on the other side like, damn, what do I do? Do I let him do it? Or do I call the police and wait for a 7-minute response? Or do I just take matter to my own hands? I have a firearm, let me shoot through the door. But you got it sticky now, because now you shoot through that door. Now you become him. You held liable for the murder of a child, when the whole time you didn't do anything wrong other than try to protect you and your family. But there comes responsibility when you release that bullet from that gun. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that as proper insurance. But in this aspect, man, unfortunately for the brother, he might get some time due to the fact that they're going to say, well, was your life in jeopardy when you shot? When actuality, your life could be portrayed as a threat when there's people, not knowing that it's kids or not, are banging on your door at 3 a.m., kicking on it, donkey kicking, how these trends are. Now, I would say that, and I've seen a couple videos that the kids will donkey kick the door open, wait for the door to open, and then dip off. You know, the guy probably didn't say a word. He probably behind the door just hearing somebody boom, 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 boom. So he popped through the door type shit. I'm just saying what might have happened, because it doesn't state that the kid said that the guy said anything prior to shooting. So I'm assuming based on that the guy didn't even know. He shot through the door, and the kids thought it was a little prank, thought we was just ding-dong and ditching. I was just ringing doorbells and running off. No, you're disturbing the peace, you're trespassing, and then you're trying to break and entering. You know what I'm saying? You're breaking, not entering, but you're trying to break in the door or the entrance of the house. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sticky situation, man. I hope the brother get the right amount of help that he get. I know he probably can't afford the right counsel, maybe. It seems like they was in a decent neighborhood, but still, at the end of the day, like, I like to play devil's advocate. Like, I like to put my foot in the shoes of the kids. Okay, we knuckleheads, we playing around, we young, we just trying to do some fun shit. So, first off, parents need to get their ass whooped, because why is your kid at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is out at 3 a.m. in the morning, possibly on a school day? Even if it wasn't, why is your kids out past 12 o'clock midnight? It's 3 in the morning. You know what happens at 3 in the morning. Suspects, criminals, and killers out. So, in the defense of the guy, I wouldn't expect no kids to be out banging on doors. I expect it to be grown men trying to break and enter in, and that's what they doing. These are robbery hours. You banging on my door, I got a firearm and shoot through the door. The whole time I was a kid trying to pull a prank. I had no clue. Officer, I didn't know. That's the defense, because that's just what it is. But a lot of people are going to flip this and be like, well, why didn't he wait for the person to breach the door and come in, possibly attack him to shoot? At least come in the door. See, a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people are not thinking like, oh, I have a gun to protect my home. I'm going to wait for the killer to get in my house to shoot him. Nobody wants to wait for that. You shouldn't be at my door banging on my door, donkey kicking, thinking it's a prank. I have no clue that you're pranking me. I feel like at 3 a.m., the killers and murderers are outside, and kidnappers, they're trying to take away me and my family due to the fact that you are at my door 3 o'clock in the morning banging. You didn't identify as the police. You ain't got no warrants. I can't assume that you're anybody that want to do any greatness to my family at this moment. I can only assume you're trying to commit harm to my family because you're trying to breach my front door, and you're not law enforcement. So, that being said, y'all tell me if I had a good explanation on that. I know my stance was more defending him, but I just wanted to put in perspective that the innocent isn't so innocent. I want to put in perspective that the kids are really doing nonsense, knucklehead behavior, and that we're supposed to just be vulnerable to that because they're kids. But we don't know that they're kids because they're committing actions of criminals around criminal action times. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about this whole situation. Y'all think the black dude was bad? You know they're going to prosecute him for being a brother at the end of the day. You, a brother, just killed the white man. Hey, this ain't the other situation like y'all had Metcalf. Like, this is a whole other situation now. You have a breach of your own home front door. Possibly they didn't come through the front door, so I would think like maybe they fight that out since the door was not breached open and it was just kicked. You can't shoot through it, and that is a good argument. That is a good argument. I want to see what happens in court next. I hope he doesn't get no super duper charge, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a reason why he shot his gun. He just didn't shoot it for no reason. So I think that should be a good defense, and this should be a lesson to all the other kids that might be going around kicking at other people's doors. Because you're kicking at people's doors, what do you expect people to do? They're trying to, that's their family, they pay their bills, their cars outside, that's their family, that's their end all be all. That's their property, their domain. You can't be going in there trying to kick their door in. Police don't even kick doors in without a warrant signed by the judge. So for a kid to come and be doing the same thing, you can only expect that it's someone to do no good. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Don't forget to like for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to ring notification bell on the side so you can know when I drop another video, which is very soon. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Angelo Savage, man. Peace.